Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 15 of our Colorado Rockies rebuild here on Out of the Park Baseball 26. Last episode, we played through the World Series with the Yankees, 7 game series where unfortunately we came up just short. In somewhat disappointing fashion, I would say, where we won the first 2 games, but only won one the rest of the way. But overall, I mean, the fact that we made the World Series to begin with is an insane feat in and of itself. Most impressive, without question, winning 4 straight against the Dodgers to take the NLCS. But just because we made the playoff run, we got the NL pennant, does not mean that everything is rosy. Because after all, we only made the wild card by 2 games. We finished 10 games above 500 overall. And with the exception of home runs, we had the worst offense in nearly every offensive category in the National League. That problem is not going to fix itself. And so we have a very important offseason coming where we need to replace multiple starters in the lineup, one in the rotation, and figure out what in the heck we're going to do about some bullpen openings. But before we get into that, I just want to say a special thank you to all the viewers, both on Twitch and on YouTube. This series is doing really well views wise, especially the day of the 24 hours when the video goes live. So I thank you all for that. Now, I noted this last episode, and depressingly, it is true. Despite the fact that we made the World Series, took the Yankees to 7, and just phenomenal games in Coors Field all the way through, our owner has not increased our budget in any way, shape, or form. 178 million last year, 178 million this year. And that is with us last year being in the green by $16 million. Budget didn't move. The projected budget next year will go up by 10 million, but that projection operates under the assumption that our final balance is going to be a good again. There is a chance it's not that pretty. So that is the finances going into this. We currently have $45 million available to do some spending with. 16 million for free agents is how that shakes out. So we don't have a lot of money for agents, which is good because this free agent class is not good. Like I will be the one to break the news to you. There's only one player with 70 in terms of overall, and that is star closer Edwin Diaz for the Braves last year. And if you're wondering, yeah, he pretty much shut us down in 2 games. Chris Sale did not retire. He is still going strong, 37, going to be 38 years old. You don't even want to know what his asking price is. And then Ryan Helsley is the other 60 overall. Obviously, a setup man. Interestingly enough, he didn't get that many closing opportunities with the Diamondbacks. He got much more with the Reds. So that's it. Everyone else, 55 or below. And even then, in terms of 55s, there's only 9 of those guys. So not much spending going on here today. As far as our needs, as I discussed at the end of last episode, we essentially need new corner outfielders. Brenton Doyle obviously is locked in at center field to the point where I offered him a 5-year, $50 million contract extension, which he accepted. He wanted 8 years, so this 5 is a compromise. $15 million this upcoming season in 12, 10, 8, and then there is a team option with a $1.5 million buyout. If we don't take the option, it's $5 million for him the last year. So he's locked in as our center fielder. Left field and right field, completely wide open. Alec Thomas, Alex Call, both of them are gone. Jordan Beck traded away. And that leaves us with Zach Veen as the last man standing of that group of four men. Zach Veen, to his credit, wasn't that great last year. The thing Zach Veen has going for him is defensively, he is a okay right fielder and objectively an average left fielder. So I could play him at either corner outfield spot and be okay. The problem with Zach Veen is that his average was a 184, his on base percentage was a 273, and I don't even want to get into what his OPS was. He struggled mightily hitting the baseball last year. And that's with overly solid ratings, I would say. I mean, he's never going to hit for that much power. He did get 10 home runs last year, but something needs to give with him. And so I think regardless of what happens in left field, Zach Veen needs to hit this next season or else he is likely gone. Yanquiel Fernandez was one of two members of the roster that did not make one of two players that was eligible for the playoff roster that did not make the playoffs. And it's for two reasons. One, he struggled to hit the baseball last year. Similar numbers, 276 on base percentage, 634 on OPS. He also is a bad defender. Negative zone rating in right field. It was much worse in AAA. I don't know what happened to him in AAA in right field, but a negative zone rating of 6 in only 76 games is very impressive. He's not a great defensive right fielder. He does have an okay arm, but everything else is a little shaky. At the moment, those are our two guys in contention for the outfield spots. I have called up Joe Lamp just so he's on the Major League team while I go through this. He's going to be 26 years old in a few days. He has very solid ratings, but no shot at power. He has a bad arm in the outfield. We'll see how that looks. There's a non-zero chance Lamp becomes maybe a swing outfielder, but then one of Zach Veen or Yanquiel Fernandez would likely be starting for us. Which, to be fair, isn't the worst way of going about it. Only other thing of note with this lineup is Michael Toglia. For those who watched the last two episodes, you'll know that Toglia was objectively our worst hitter in the playoffs. Couldn't really hit a baseball to save his natural life. In 55 at-bats, he only had 8 hits, 2 RBIs, struck out 22 times. No home runs also in the playoffs, which is especially disappointing because he had 7 in September and then just grinded to a halt. However, as you can see in the top left, he won the Golden Glove at first base for this past season of work. Really good for him. Zone rating 6.6. Only made 2 errors. Percentage of 998. I'll take that and like it. At the moment, he is our starting first baseman next year. I am also operating under the assumption that we're either going to trade him next year or he works. Like that's it. If he continues to struggle, I think we will be moving on with our lives. Other than that, everything is as advertised. Hunter Goodman's going to catch, Estrada at second, Tovar short, Bregman third, and then Hao Yuli is going to be our DH. I think while he wasn't great last season, I mean, negative 1.2 WAR, OPS of 620, he is only getting better. If you look at his scout page, from June and August alone, his power went up 5, his contact speed, gap rating, all of it exploded. Um, and that's why I think he can become a really good everyday DH for us. He doesn't have the power that I usually look for in a DH, but he doesn't strike out a ton. I think he'll do a much better job at getting on base next year. And this way, by putting him at DH, I don't have to worry about the fact that he was a terrible defensive shortstop and a below average defensive second baseman. So, how Yuli is going to DH. The pitching staff is 90% complete already. The rotation is set with an asterisk. Michael King, Bobby Miller, Gabriel Hughes, all are going to make their returns. Chris Bubich, at the moment, is in the rotation. He is just starting the first year of a 2-year contract extension that we signed last year. However, a lot of teams are interested in Chris. I'm a little hesitant to roll him out again as a starter because his stamina has dropped down to a 35. Don't ask me why. He's had no injuries in this save so far. That's a little shaky. The fact that he kind of imploded in the playoffs, with exception of the Dodgers game, is also in the back of my mind. And then the fifth starter, I'm giving it to Chase Dollander. At this point, he just needs to pitch in the majors. He's had back-to-back season-ending injuries, which obviously is less than ideal. The former, he was out for almost an entire calendar year. So at this point, I don't really want to waste his arm anymore in AAA. He is going to be our fifth starter. So the only way our rotation changes from now until opening day is if we decide to trade Chris Brubich. Everyone else is locked in. Bullpen, similar idea. Bautista to closer, Halverson, Vodnik, return as setup man, Zerpa, Molina as middle relief, Burke, Romero as long relief. That's 7 guys. I only need one more. Angel Chivilli suffered a season-ending injury. He is healthy again. But of my, 23, 24, 25-year-old relievers, he's the one I'm least confident in. He's still developing his stuff a lot. And while, 1.2 whip, 226 BABIP is nice, he had less than 6 strikeouts per 9, 4.4 walks per 9, really struggled prior to being sent down, since I did send him down to the minors in the middle of the season. So right now, I think my plan for him is to get more time in AAA and then maybe be called up next year. So we need an additional bullpen arm. That brings me to so far the only offer I have made in free agency thus far, and that is to Keegan Aiken, who is 31 years old. He's going to be 32 when next season starts. And last year with the Rangers, he pitched 81 innings, a sub-1 whip, 258 BABIP. Most importantly, 10.7 Ks per 9 with walks per 9 of 1.7. He did very, very well for himself. And even the home run numbers are a little inflated because in his last start in the playoffs against the Yankees, he gave up 2 home runs. So, I guess those playoffs, so we can count. Never mind. I like him. He adds another lefty to our bullpen. So that gives me 3 lefties, assuming that Keegan is a middle reliever. That'll give me another option there. And overall, I like him a lot. My accuracy on him is very high, so this is what I'm going to get. I hope he doesn't regress at the beginning of next season, but that is where we currently stand. I've offered him a 2-year, $10.5 million offer with an option in there for good measure. The only other player of immense talent in free agency we might go after is Randy Arozarena, who for the Braves last year hit in nearly every game, had an on-base percentage of 354, 816 OPS, almost 30 homers to his name, and strikeouts were way down compared to the year in Seattle where he had 50 less Ks. So Arozarena, I think, is a guy I can count on. The problem with Arozarena is defensively, he's very bad. -2, -3 zone rating, respectfully. He has a negative arm in left. So if we sign Arozarena, I'm probably going to put him in right field because his arm plays better there, but he'll be a not so great defensive option. The issue with Arozarena is he's undoubtedly going to want more money than I have available in free agency, since most of the money that the owner has given me wants to be for extensions. I have increased the player development, draft budget, etc. I could always dip that down. For example, if I drop the draft budget from 10 million to 8 million, that frees up about $4 million. So I could keep doing something similar to try to get a Rosarena, or I could always trade someone, a quick little move, but we'll see how all that plays out. It is also very disappointing that Chris Bryant didn't retire, because had he retired, we would have gotten 8 million back in our budget. But alas. It's kind of where we stand. At the moment, needs wise, just information, corner outfielders, another starter if we decide to move Chris Bubit, move on with our life. We also don't currently have a scouting director, as I offered this man a contract a week ago, and he just has not gotten back to me yet, which is very unusual in this game. So hopefully that happens soon. But for now, we will advance the day. Oh, yeah, right. I need to activate Cole Carrig, who Cole Carrig is also in this sort of corner outfield mix. Obviously, he's coming off of a ruptured MCL, so he's going to need to ramp up back from that, probably get a rehab assignment also. He likely won't be back until in the majors, June, at least. So that is something to keep in mind. Personal message. Hey, he wrecks the contract. Cool. A proposal from the White Sox. What would you like to send me? Nick Martinez. Why would I want Nick Martinez? I mean, don't get me wrong. He did well last year. He has terrible stuff, and he has 2 years left. No, I don't even need it. Whoa! I hit completed by accident. Whoops. That's funny. I'm a genius. All right. I hit completed by accident. We're gonna have to commission this. Hold, please. This kids. That's why there should be an "Are you sure" button on the command. Where's commission mode? Commission mode. All right, we're gonna move these guys back. Hold on. I don't even know if I can do that. Can I move players back to the teams? I hope so. Actions. What was the deal? It was Herrera and Austin Eminer, who I don't care about. They can have Eminer. So I need to do Herrera for Martinez. All right. Hold, please. We're doing great. You saw nothing. So now with Nick Martinez being M page is gonna be like he was traded, he was not. But yeah, they can have Austin Emmer for my folly. Congrats. But we take Herrera back. Poor Herrera. He was like, they traded me, then they got me back. What's going on? That is why you always pay attention. All right, let's advance a couple days. Another trade proposal. Stuart Fairchild, Jacob Friend. Okay, that's like 3 different players for Drew. So teams are coming around for Drew Romo. I assume it's because he wants to be a starter. He's unhappy. And realistically, he's not going to start with us as long as Hunter Goodman is here. Stuart Fairchild, I don't really want. Like, I would rather play Zach Veen or Fernandez at that point. Jacob Friend is just not good. And Wilmy Sanchez, he's not bad, but his control is bad. No, I reject this. Go away. That's funny. I did the trade by accident. Hey, we have a scouting director. That is good. So who does he have? Okay, so let's get fresh scouting reports on everyone with exception of Brenton Doyle. Just this way I know where all of my guys stand. Okay, fresh scouting reports on everyone not named Bobby Miller and Anthony Molina. All right. So that might take a little bit. All right, Christian Mina. We got Taglia. So Taglia, his power and his eye dropped, but his gap went up. Hunter Goodman, no change. Chase Dollander, ooh, the control is worse. Yeah, control, stamina, and potential all dropped. But the stamina we knew was going to drop because he suffered a year-long injury. Seth Halverson, no changes. That's good. All right, and the Red Sox want to send me Masataka Yoshida. I mean, uh-oh. Did he get injured? Oh, no, they just didn't play him that much. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I don't know if I'd want Yoshida. Like 18.6 million. They would also send us some money for Drew Romo and Ishmael Luciano. I think I say no to that. Whoa. Okay. Trade proposal first. Stephen Kwan. I mean, I'll take Stephen Kwan. He's got his last year arbitration. They gave him 11 million. What do they want? Drew Romo, Noe Navarro, who I acquired from the Athletics. He is only 18 years old. I'm fine with him. And then Casilla. Ooh, I like Casilla. I don't like him as a starter, though. The AI keeps trying to make him a starter. The man is a reliever. And they want Drew Romo. This I could do. I think Drew Romo, the issue I'm going to run into with Drew Romo is just simply that he's always just going to be a backup for me as long as Hunter Goodman is on the team. And to be fair, Goodman, I think, had a worse year than last year. So that isn't a guarantee that he's here for the long haul. If I remove Romo, I mean, if I did Zach Veen and Salinas, they would say yes. So this is essentially a question of, do I pull the plug on Zach Veen? Though the scouting for him isn't ready yet. I might wait for that. I'm going to keep this trade here. Would they retain any money? All right, Nate eat 50%. I could be talked into this. I'll circle back. Shunk, we got. I don't really care about him. All right, Michael King, talk to me. His stuff dropped again, man. We're fine. All right, Arozarena. Yeah, I mean it's obviously if we trade for Stephen Kwan, we won't need a Rosarena. I think a Rosarena would be good. I just don't know if he's worth like he wants an 8-year, $185 million deal. He's gonna be almost 32. He's gonna be 32 by now. I think I might be out on a Rosarena. We'll see. Bregman, new scouting report. No changes, which is good. Wait. Yeah, defensively. He dropped defensively according to that scouting report, but it still says 60 on there. Estrada, I don't care about. All right, Drew Romo. Oh, no. Yeah, his eye got worse. I think I do the deal. Gabriel Hughes scouting report. No, no change, which is good because we really don't want Hughes to get worse. Chivilli, this one's important. Yeah, his velocity went up. I'll take that. Tovar, I mean, I already know what's going to drop. Yep. Yeah, his power did go up, though. And Rojas seems to think he has a better eye than what he's shown, which would be nice. Joe Lamp, this is just me getting a better idea. They say he has better speed. All right. Let me go back to the Guardians. Actually, no, I'm still waiting on Zach Veen. That's what I'm waiting on. Looks like I'm gonna be waiting a bit longer. Cole Carrig, I should have waited to do the scouting report until after he gets back from injury, but that is what it is. Romero, I don't care about. Aha, Veen. No change. Objectively unhelpful. Chris Bubich. Yeah. I was really hoping the stamina would go up, but I don't think we're gonna get that lucky. All right, let's go back to the Guardians. Let's talk. So this is the deal. Veen and Salinas for Stephen Kwan. First, here's a very simple question. How do they compare to each other? So Veen is 5 years younger. Well, he's 4 years younger. Veen has a little bit more power, better bat pit, better gap. He is so much worse against lefties, though, I would say. Yeah, I mean he's gonna have more power. That is what it is. Defensively, I think I'd rather have the slightly better arm than slightly error. How did they do this year? Oh yeah, I mean Kwan crushed him in number. Yeah, I mean he's objectively an upgrade. So I think this is the question of what do we want to be as a baseball team? Do we want to try to capitalize on last year's World Series run, try to get back to the playoffs? Then I think we take Kwan. If we're confident that Zach Veen can grow into something good, we do that. Would they want anyone else? No, they really want Veen. What if I just removed everything and said, what would it take? Oh, wait, that's with 50%. Zero. So straight up, they would take Molina. Hmm. They would do Molina. That I think I'm talking myself into Stephen Kwan. I think because what he also won't do is he won't strike out and he's going to walk a lot, which is something our offense desperately needs. And he's young enough to where I have the money to extend him if I want to. So the retainment doesn't really matter. I'm fine with that. Yeah, we're deleting that deal. But I mean, if I get Kwan, then it's Zach Veen versus Yanquiel Fernandez for right field. And Fernandez can really only play right field, and he doesn't play it well. What if I do Fernandez? And man, yeah, they don't value him at all. What do they need in terms of prospects? Catcher, shortstop, everything in the outfield. And yeah, unfortunately, we don't have great guys for that position. Would they want Andahar? No, not really. Oh yeah, I should have done Rojas. I should have done OSA because Rojas hasn't scouted anyone yet. I could give Romeo Sanabria. I would not be against that. Why did it flip back? Oh, because I flipped it. What about Romeo? I mean, it says submit it and they'll do it ASAP. I doubt they do. I'll submit it, and I imagine he says no. Yeah, almost. All right, how you Lee scouting report? Ooh, they think he's got more power. He's a better defensive second baseman. He's not, but I appreciate the confidence in him. Game. That's a really good scouting report. Look at our boy. All right, Fernandez. His eye improved. It's about it. Vodnik, I don't care about. Zerpa coming off of a All-Star season. His control and his stamina dropped. Make that make sense. Whatever. Almost. If I add Bobby Miller, the reason I'm okay with giving up Romeo is he doesn't really have a path to playing time because he doesn't have a defensive position, which means he's going to DH, which we have Howie Lee for. And even next year, if we lose Estrada and Howie Lee goes the second, we still have guys like Hunter Goodman that could DH. What if I do Romeo and Yankiel? Nah, they don't want to. What were the straight up players? Bautista, Luis de Leon, Goodman. I mean, listen. Do I trade Hunter Goodman and then just give Romo the job full time? I don't really want to trade someone that was especially so good for us in the playoffs. That does seem a bit silly. How does he compare with Romo? Yeah, Goodman has the power. Whereas Romo, odds are, is going to get me better contact and such. And Goodman just objectively had a better year in every single number imaginable, including strikeouts. But yeah, yeah, we're doing it. In terms of players, I want to give him. I want to give him Machado. Yeah, I'll give him Machado. I don't know if they'll retain the same amount because I have a different prospect. No, it was 50% Justice. I don't really want to give up Justice. I'll trade Everett. All right. I mean, that's the deal. Done. I do this deal accepting the fact I think Zach Veen is a good baseball player and he's going to contribute well. However, it hasn't worked for us. He's had at this point 670, at bats or plate appearances. Hasn't done particularly well for himself. And I think if we want to maximize on making the playoffs again, we need someone like Stephen Kwan. That is my humblest of opinions. I think he's not the best defensive left fielder in the world. That is what it is. So, Kwan is going to take left, and at the moment, I'm going to have him bat third. That might be a bit silly. We'll see. So, right field, then I think, is Yankeel. I might give it to him, or we get a Arozarena, but now our finances are going to look even worse. Yeah, 12 million. I don't think we're going to get a Arozarena. Jorge Soler is still available. If I could bring him back, First, I need to see if Aiken actually wants to join me. Oh, I didn't do Hall of Fame voting. Hall of Fame voting. First things first. Did anyone get close? Beltran, Ryan Braun, Andrew Jones, CC Sabathia not being. A-Rod getting 41% is kind of funny. Anyone else get close? Not really. As I'm doing a Colorado Rockies run, we're putting in Troy Tulowitzki. Just, it has to be done. He's not going to make it, but it has to be done. Buster Posey. I don't know if he gets in. He'd be in on my ballot. It's really not a great list besides that. Curtis Granderson, one of my favorite Tigers of all time, put him in. Cowards. King Felix, come on. And then I'll just give a vote to somebody. You know what? Ryan Zimmerman. There's my ballot. Like 3 of those guys are probably going to get in. All right, that's the trade. So long, Zach Veen. The Tigers want to send me Matt Vierling. I don't want Matt Vierling. We have identified a fundamental issue. They want Bill Salinas. Why does everyone want Bill Salinas? Is there something with Bill Salinas that I'm not seeing? I mean, Chris Rodriguez ain't bad. I mean, Vierling, I don't think I want. I think at that point I'd rather just play Fernandez. Like right now, that's who all these fringe outfielders are fighting with. Chris Sale. Okay. So I mentioned this before. This is what Chris Sale wants, by the by. Wants a 1 year, 30 million was my offer. which obviously the owner doesn't approve. In reality, I think he wanted like 3 million. He wanted like 38 and 3 years of it. And I was like, no, go away. Aiken, will you get back to me, please? Like, you're my only free agent right now. All right. Are there any other outfielders that would be worth it to go in on, keeping in mind we only have $12 million to spend? Tyler O'Neill, no. Strikeout insanity. What, like a 1 year deal from Manuel Margot wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. He's a pretty good outfielder, but he just doesn't have a good arm. Like 1 year? Let me get a scouting report on you, sir. Any other outfielders I really want to go for? Burleson, no. So the fact that he only wants 1.5 million is a little odd. I don't know why. Do I go for Burleson? Where did the Blue Jays put him in left and right? He didn't do great. I mean, comparing to Margot, they're pretty similar players, and Burleson's going to be a lot cheaper. An upgrade over Fernandez, with exception of power. I mean, I could go for Burleson. He'd be a cheap option, and if it flames out, then so be it. 1 year, 1.5. I mean, I'll do it for 1 year, 1.5. I'll still do the scouting report on Manny just because. Also, old friend Sam Hilliard, who last year essentially played for the Dodgers AAA affiliate the whole time, is also available. Aiken, will you get back to me already? Her sale signed with Houston. Give me the number. 3 years, 61. Yeah, get out of here. You're paying like 1 year of that, and then he retires. That's the hope if you're the Astros there. All right, winter meetings have begun. Aiken. Okay, so we're leading. Burleson, we're leading. Cool. Draft results for the lottery. Angels go up. Ooh, the White Sox went from 11 to 4. Not bad. All right, winter meetings. Is there anyone here I want to trade? Not really. I think I'm just going to have to live with the fact that Drew Romo is going to be upset about not starting. But yeah, I mean, especially with Kwan, I think Fernandez and Burleson kind of platooning that right field spot, I'm happy with. In terms of the pitchers, I mean, really, the only thing is, do we move off of Chris Bubich? Let's see what that looks like. Well, we could get Bellinger. I don't know if I'd even want Bellinger. Like, he's getting 16.8 a year for 3 more years. He had a very down year with the Red. Look at this. Home runs cut in half. Walks were down. Strikeouts were up. His stealing ability is almost non existent. They put him at center where he was actually terrible. I would obviously put him in right. I don't think that's worth it. Like that's too much money. Will they retain any of it? If I did Bubich, we would lose 9.3 million, which means we would essentially be done in free agency. Will they retain any of it? They return 35%, so we lose 3.4. The negative of this would be if we get Bellinger and Kwan, we've essentially locked out our prospects from a lot of playing time. Here, let me get a scouting report. I'll come back to this. Who are the other players they offered? Josh Jung. Send it. Hey, Ryan McMahon, we can bring him back. Brian Reynolds on that contract? No, thank you. And not great. I mean, Keibert Ruiz wouldn't be a bad shout if we trade Goodman, but like he's already done in the Nationals. They have him in AAA. They put him in AA for crying out loud. Yeah. I think I'd rather just hold on to Bubic and see what he's got. Hey, we get Aiken. Sweet. So that is a bullpen arm settled. Cool. So Aiken's going to be here, 2-year, 10.5 million. And then if he does great, we can keep him with the option. If he doesn't do so well, then we just show him the door. No harm done. The White Sox want to send me Davis Martin, who has been, looks like a decent reliever for them. Well, I don't need that. So, no, thank you. All right, Manuel Margot has been fully scouted. Nah. I think at that point I'll play Fernandez. Like, he's got no power whatsoever. He started 140 games and hit 6 home runs. That power is gone. He's striking out decent amount. Nah. I think Burleson. I'm still leaning Burleson, or we go crazy and trade for Bellinger. Yeah, no change from the other scout report for Aiken. All right, Rule 5 draft is here. Let me save really quick. All right, so we are Albuquerque and Hartford. Yes. All right. Draft pool. Let me see if I need to grab anybody to the 40 man. How many 40-man spots do I have? I have 6. Oh yeah, we're fine. Okay. So do I want to save anyone? Ooh, Luis de Leon needs to be saved. Needs to be saved. Um, Agnos, no. Jose Fleury, I just have. I have so many of these like fringe guys who are on the edge. Herrera, Knowles, man, Antonio. Antonio, I think, is just fallen off a cliff from when we signed him. Herrera, I would like to keep. Wyatt Olds, I'm going to be honest. If someone comes in for Wyatt Olds, so be it. I think that's it for Albuquerque. Hartford. No. Oh, I'm only looking at pictures. I did all that scrolling. All right, now with the hitters on here. Do I care if anyone takes Benny Montgomery? Nah, I don't think I care. I was wondering why I was just seeing nothing but relief pitchers. Hartford. Do I care if anyone takes Jose Cordova? Not really. All right. Yeah. So we protected who we need to protect. We pick 20th in the Rule 5 draft. Quite a lot of players being taken so far. Meanwhile, in real life, it's like 3 players total. Tigers, you take anyone? No. Rando Grichuk as a Rule 5 draft pickup is actually hilarious, but fair enough. Saying for anyone, anybody? All right, it's us. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I really want anyone. Like, outfield, I don't think we're going to find that solution in the 40 man in all actuality, but let's just look. Yeet. I mean, listen, this 23-year-old could be interesting. No, I talked myself out of it. And Dylan Campbell, but again, I mean, a lot of these guys are going to be keep competing with Fernandez, who I just think is better. I mean, he's not a center fielder. Let's get that straight away. Did very well for himself in AAA. Didn't strike out a ton this year compared to last. How does he compare to Fernandez? Torres has a much better eye, much better avoid K. That said, I would take Fernandez against lefties. Defensively, give me the much better arm than right. Yeah, nah. So I don't think we're going to find an outfield solution here. Starting pitching, I'm going to be honest, we should just play our own guys at that point. I could take, coming off of a torn elbow ligament, Fernando Sanchez, who, to be fair, doesn't look that bad. I'm surprised you're allowed to draft players that are out for that long on here. Blake Burkhalter, no. Honestly, I mean, we take Fernandez. Nah, I mean, his stamina is probably going to crater. He doesn't look that bad, though. He's got really good Ks per 9, 11.6 this year. Almost 2 home runs given up per 9 is a bit shaky. I'm almost tempted. Nah. Talk myself out of it. All right. So then at that point, any like insane potential having guys? Ooh. No. What a first baseman. Nah, I think we punt on the Rule 5 draft this time around. I don't really think we're going to find anyone that's going to blow us away. Even like some guys that we know have like 50 like potential, like Matthew Etzel. I'd rather play Fernandez. Yeah, nah. We are just going to sim the rest of the draft. No one from the Rule 5 this time around. Here are all the picks. Our guys were all safe, which is good. The 40 man now stands at 37 by the by. So we're going to need the DFA players if we need some room. All right, Cody Bellinger scouting report. Talk to me. Solid option center field. I'm not putting him at center. All right, let's revisit this. So if I offer Chris, they would save 20 million. Cody would become our starting right fielder, and we'd be paying him about 13 million a year for 3 years. I don't think that's worth it. I think that's a little bit too much money. Like, I accept he might be better than Fernandez now, but for the money, like, man, I think we stick. I think we stick with Fernandez. I think part of me is genuinely all in on like, let's just give him all the reps this year and find out if he's good. Because that's one of the issues we ran into with guys like, Jordan Beck and Zach Veen, where they just weren't getting the consistent at bats enough. Even Jordan Beck, after we traded him to the Astros, he only made 8 starts with their major league team. So yeah, I still think Burleson. I think Burleson could be a good shout. He's a dependable guy that I know is going to hit around the league average. He's not going to strike out a ton. Got a little bit of power. I'm fine with that. The Tigers want to send me Matt Vierling. I am not interested in Matt Vierling. Like, I hate to be the one that tells you this, Scott Harris. Go away. I mean, we're pretty much done in free agency. I think really the only question is, do we trade Chris Bubich? To which the answer feels like no, and we just roll the dice. What if I just ask for prospects? No. Yeah, no. Yeah, I think we're just gonna roll with Chris, and then if he flames out or something, I could move him to long relief if something happens there, and then call somebody up. I think that is preferable. The Mariners want to send me Luis Castillo, eating 50% of it. Wait, he's on the Guardians. No, the trade already went. They offered me this. Okay, so they sent out a trade offer to both me and the Guardians at the same time. The Guardians got back first. Why would I want a 34-year-old reliever with average stuff? Go away. Scott, please. Relax. Burleson really is taking his sweet time, isn't he? I trade Christian Mina. Like, I keep staring at him, and I'm like, you don't really have a role on this team. He's already been AAA a bunch. Do I trade for IKF? Good lord. Oh, I have low ratings, but even then, good lord. If I didn't have Austin Martin, I'd actually be tempted. Clark Schmidt, who I guess the Yankees are putting in a relief now. Lamont Wade Jr., I think if I would have made the decision to move off of Taglia, it could have been a good stopgap option, but he has 3 years remaining. No. No, no, no. Anyone interesting of note on the trade block in terms of overall Durant? Why would they trade Durant? I mean, I'm obviously not going to go for him. I have Bautista, but why? You know what? I'm not going to ask questions. 1 year of Wilson Contreras. Oh, never mind. He has 2 years left. That's an option. Here's a question. Nah, I'd take Hunter Goodman. I feel like in the back of my mind is telling me I should trade Hunter Goodman now while his value is high, and then Drew Romo takes it. Pablo Lopez and 21 million. Look at just outfielders. Good Lord, what a grim list. Lane Thomas. Let me get a scouting report on him. I'll circle back. How much money do I have left? 11. Part of me wants to just extend Stephen Kwan now. Just accept the fact that, hey, you're going to be here more than 1 year. Speaking of which, hey, Stephen, what would you want in terms of an extension? And that ain't bad. Oh, it's only average. Give me a scouting report on you also. Having a new scouting director just reset everything is great. All right, Lane, talk to me. Yeah, his overall potential is down to a 45. And the game rates him more as a backup. How do you do against lefties? Not great. I should have checked this before I traded for Stephen Kwan. Stephen, how do you do for lefties last year? Not great, but honestly, 331 average. It ain't bad. I feel like I already know the answer to this when I compare him to Yankiel, but I just want to look. Yeah. I think honestly, Yankiel's our right fielder. I think him and Burleson can platoon and we'll be okay. Speaking of which, Burleson has signed. Let's go. And he did well against lefties. The on-base percentage is shaky, but the slugging was really good. Which, honestly, at a certain point, I have to take that trade off. So, all right. Burleson is in. I think I am going to give the right field job to Yankiel. But, all right, let's do some lefty switches. So, Toglia sits against lefties. Aaron Shunk goes in. Goodman and Tovar all move up a spot. And then Burleson hits for Yankiel. I think that's the move I want to make. Yeah. All right. And in terms of depth chart stuff, Romo, Shunk can be backup first. And then I think break glass in case of emergency. How you lead backup shortstop. Backup outfield. I think at the moment Joe Lamp is going to get the lion's share of reps at left and center field as a backup. Burleson, I think, will play every 4 games. And then backup DH will be Burleson. Pinch hitters, Romo, Burleson. Pinch runner, I assume, is Lamp. Yeah. Then against lefties, pretty similar calculus. Romo center, Toglia first, Austin Martin second, Austin Martin third. Lefty DH backup, I guess Yankiel. And Joe Lamp, center, left. And how you lead backup short. I'm not going to bother changing any of these from if the starter's tired. And then, yeah, Lamp. Nandez and Drew Romo can be our pinch hitters. All right. That's our lineup for next season. That's our depth chart, barring any changes. Cole Carrick obviously is going to start on the 60-day IL. So that gives me 9 infielders plus 2 catchers. So 7 infielders. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 plus. I'm short. I'm long one. Hmm. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 5 pitchers is 19. And I have 8 relievers. 27. I'm over one. Well, we'll have to have that problem sort itself out in spring training. Stephen Kwan, his speed is evidently better than advertised. All right, international free agency signing has begun. I'm going to be honest with you. Not great lists. The two guys I had my eye on. One was Willie Perez, second baseman. Can't really play defense. Counter argument: he's 16 years old. I think he'll grow into that. I'm fine with offering him the 2.8 he wants. And then the second. Oh, I see them both. The second guy I was looking at was, Lorenzo Rios, who could grow into very high potential. My fear with him from a starting perspective is he's really only going to have 2 good pitches, the fastball and the changeup. So I think he could be a guy that we try to develop his secondary stuff. I'm going to offer him a little bit less than what he wants. But it looks like it's a decent offer all the same. So those are my international guys. All right, preseason has begun. Wait for everything to flip and reset to 0. Yes, I know, Monfort. You didn't increase my money. Go away. All right, Willie Perez likes the offer. Ooh. Oh, the Dodgers outbid me for a player. When else has that happened? All right. In that case, withdraw. Just not even going to worry about it, really. I could go for Felix Pedrati, knowing without question he's going to be a reliever. I don't hate that. He also only wants 2.2 million. So that does free up the opportunity for me to offer like 700,000 to one of these guys like Willie Larios. His control isn't going to be great. Take a shot on Ramon. 200,000. Done. And then I'll save the rest to increase offers if these guys don't want to sign. All right, cool. Hall of Fame results. Oh boy. All right. And then a lot of the guys got frustrated with their development stuff. That's fun. Yeah, Lorenzo went to Pitt. That's fine. Willie Perez. So we get the main guy we wanted. All right, Gabriel Hughes excelled in his secondary pitch development, which is awesome. Unfortunately, everyone else left frustrated. Toglia is on track, which is good. Yuck. So it's not going great. I think I'm just gonna punt on the frustrated ones. And his velocity dipped back down to where it was before. Tovar, work on your stuff. I don't even care. Um, Molina can keep working. Dollander, I'm cutting right now. Stamina decreased. Yeah, well, that already decreased. You fools. Joe Lamp, keep working. Toglia is on track. Bobby Miller, keep working. Hall of Fame results. Beltran in the Hall of Fame. CC Sabathia misses, as does A-Rod. Andrew Jones drops. Those keeping track at home. That does also mean now I have 2 vacant spots if I want to do some quick, like, speed development. Like, if I want to make Fernandez quicker. Base running or stealing? His stealing is horrendous. Let's work on Fernandez's stealing ability. And let's also work on who do I want to give some stealing ability to? Austin Martin's already okay. Joe Lamp is already working. Do I turn Brenton Doyle into a god of speed? Or let's try to get Burleson some wheels. Help him out on base running. Why not? All right, we get Pedrati in. I think, let's be frank, he's definitely a closer, bullpen guy. Looks solid. And then Ramon Rodriguez, likely gonna go the bullpen route also. But that helps. So we have how much remaining? 490,000 US left to spend. Is there any batters that would want to come to me for that price? Answer: actually a decent amount. '70 speed. Look at you. Bob Huada. No. I talked myself out of that almost immediately. I mean, someone like Carlos Delgado could become good. Carlos Cruz, max I, but the worst of Void K. That could be funny. Let's offer Delgado. See if he wants to dance, and then we'll just keep the rest in our pocket. Trade proposal: the Dodgers. Well, hello. What do you want from me, Andy? I just went through this entire offseason for right fielders, and now you bring him to me? Give me a scouting report. What did they even want? I didn't even look. Molina and Fournette. Seems a bit aggressive from the Dodgers there. They're like, hey, do you want to give up your developmental right fielder for a right field that's already kind of developed? Ooh, Delgado likes Cleveland's offer more. How much money do I have left? Not a lot, Delgado. I must warn you. Don't have a lot. I'll do 300,000. Oh. I assume I won't let me back in. Yeah, that's fine. All right, Delgado. Have fun in Cleveland. I need the scouting report on Andy to get done. There we go. All right, what do we look? Good Lord. That's so much red in November. So all the progress he made up until May got wiped out in November. Because his contact went back down to a 50, his power went down to a 60. He got better defensively, but his overall and his potential dipped. His power dipped not once but twice. Offensively, they tried him at center. Didn't work great. He was a very bad right fielder when they tried it beforehand. Was he injured for most of the year? No, they just didn't play him. Fair enough. I mean, my immediate reaction is no. I think Hindi has better power. He's quicker, but it's about it. I don't really care about the gap potential being higher. 65 power would be nice. He has a slightly better eye, but like they wanted both Molina and Fernandez, which to be frank is insane. Yeah, like they want Bautista or how you leave for it to be straight up. Let me turn to the prospects. The Dodgers obviously don't need prospects in a lot of positions. But I want Charlie Condon. Not enough to make a real difference. Nah, I think we walk away. We shall walk away. I think I would rather give Yankiel as many at bats as humanly possible this year to see what he's got. All right, here we go. Oh, AJ Russell cratered. Oh boy, his potential stuff in a year and a half has gone from 75 to 50, by the by. Good God, man. Jorge went down. That is what it is. Andahar. We could have something there. Not many development updates there. Ty Brackbill, also his control got worse. Yeah, that first draft didn't have the best results. But yeah, right now, not much is going down. I'm just going to advance a week. Oh, never mind. Oh, Yankiel is frustrated with the base stealing technique. You will finish it, sir. Burleson is on track. I love that he's frustrated with, I think, what was a very easy development. Delgado goes to the Twins. How much? Yeah, 560,000. We couldn't afford that. Good for him. All right, spring training begins. No injuries. That's all the goal. That's all I care about in spring training. Nobody gets injured. Everything else I can live with. Lineup is as set. Cole Carrig, I am going to move to the 60-day IL. Adele Amador, I'm going to be honest. Oh, low. Oh, right. I need to re-up my scouting reports on the spring training call-ups. Is there anyone I'm missing? De Leon, Herrera, and an injured Will Klein, unfortunately. How long is he out for still? 6 weeks. All right. I'm going to have to slap him on the 15-day just so they don't play him. And then, yeah, I mean, The pitchers are out who I want. Don't think I want anyone changed or subbed out, so yeah. All I hope for is no injuries. Anything changed with Amador? Yep, his contact and gap dropped. That's painful. Herrera, who was traded to the White Sox completely by accident. Control goes up, but stamina and velocity dip. Okay. That is what it is. Luis de Leon. Movement increase. Okay. I still wish I need that control better. Will Klein. Yeah, stamina drops. That's due to a big long-term injury. That is what it is. It also is very telling that he didn't appear in the big leagues before I moved him. We're losing a lot of baseball games in spring training. Who else noticed that? Am I the only one noticing this? We have yet to win a game. It's fine. Hey, we won one. Oh boy. The other benefit of having Stephen Kwan is he gives me a second captain, which is nice. Personal message. Hey, there we go. See, Young Kyo, it can be done. Ye of little faith. Boom. All right, so Yankee improves stealing. And Burleson gets a little better at base running. I'll take it. Still no injuries. Going strong. And it is a leap year in 2027, which I think means, Will Klein, buddy. Oh, Condon losing a potential rating is bad. It's fine. Yeah, opening day is on the 23rd this year. It's early. Still no injuries in spring training. Love and life. Life is good. Two weeks out. No, we have an injury. Bobby Miller, tired arm. Ooh, and Herrera. All right, that's easy. 15-day IL. He'll just be ready for opening day, but I don't want him pitching with a dead arm. Let me advance a day. Oh, Herrera, 7 months. Oh, partial torn UCL. I mean, that's the season. He's out for the season. Man, that hurts. That hurts. In that case, Cole Henry, welcome to spring training roster. Man. Oh, wow. All right. Well, we lose Herrera. It's not great. That also makes the argument for getting rid of Chris Bubich much weaker. But that is what it is. Personal messages, outstanding improvement for Gabriel Hughes in secondary pitch development. That, my friends, is what we like to see. No improvement for Tovar, Molina, or Lamp. Toglia. Yes. Successful plate discipline. No longer will this man strike out 150 sometime. No longer. That said, his overall potential dropped by 5. We're going to ignore that. Ooh, he did not have a good time. And Bobby Miller might be more prone to injury. Well, guess what? He already has tired arm. So, what else is new, Nostradamus? Ooh, Victor Vodnik, 6 weeks. Down he goes. All right, that means probably Chivilli is going to make the opening day roster. Oh, that sucks. Vodnik was so good for us last year. Quit injuring my pitchers. I forbid it. Scouting accuracy, very low. Well, let's see how he is then. Ooh, Michael King, 3 days. I mean, he's just going to have to not pitch for 3 days because I need him for opening day. Oh, it went down to 1. Cool. All right, week out from opening day. So far, Vodnik and Herrera. We cleared it? All right, we cleared it. So, opening day is tomorrow. First things first, I'm going to reset fatigue on all the players because I want everyone's ace to start. I don't want like the AI to be weird and pitch them in spring training. Yeah, Bobby Miller gets back tomorrow. All right, let me advance 1 day then. Then we can put together this. Season expectation is make the playoffs. Bam, bam, bam. I have faith. Is the faith misplaced? Probably. Active roster is full. Oh, good. I need to cut. Okay. So let's get the obvious out of the way. Luis De Leon down to AAA. Looks like he didn't have a great spring training. Couple blown saves, but ERA was okay. Jose Fleury, who needs way more time in AAA, I think. I want to make sure he is. The AI can't move him. Cole Henry, I think at this point is going to be our first call up if there is a injury to one of the starters. I think realistically, he's already 27. He's going to turn 28 this season. He needs to play. Now we have a slight problem with Vodnik being injured. I think Keegan Aiken moves to setup man so that we keep a lefty at that level, and then Angel Chivilli joins as middle relief. So that means Jeff Criswell, who might be out of options. Oh, he has 2 left. Wow. Because he missed all of 2025, and then 2026, the AI moved him to reliever, which I am fine with conceptually. Christian Mina had a terrible spring. I have a feeling Mina is not going to work out the way I wanted him to, but that's okay. All right, we're down to 29, which means I need to cut 4 from this lineup. Romeo did not have a good spring. 182 slugging. Goodness gracious. Charlie Condon, I think I'm going to keep in AAA. If Aaron Schunk struggles against lefties, then we're just going to slam Condon up. Even though Condon, he's slightly better against lefties, I think I would rather see what we got in Schunk first. And if he can give me like consistent at bats, if not, we send him to the moon. Amador was horrendous. His OPS was below A4. So that is 26. Which means I need to cut somebody from this lineup. I think the simplest move is Joe Lamp goes back down to AAA, and Burleson becomes our swingman backup outfielder. Or conversely, I just send out Burleson, and except for that, though he is playing against lefties. Austin Martin needs to be here for his positional flexibility. Obviously, Drew Romo, Aaron Schunk is here. Yeah, we're going to send Joe Lamp down to AAA. Unfair to him, I think. Wow, I only have... That's where they're hiding. You go up one. You go up one. Cool. Now I'm going to do something I always do after spring training, and that is go and take a peek and see if any free agents didn't get like any offers in the offseason and could want to come to our minor league organization. Let me look. Clayton Kershaw, who has a torn UCL, buddy, retired. Brady Singer, unsigned, minor league deal. Why is he unsigned? He had a great year with Houston last year. That's crazy. Turnbull, do I bring him back? No, I don't think I will. Cutter Crawford. I mean, might not be a bad shout. There any young guys out here like 40 potential? Answer. Oh, Derek Smith. You do not look good, but get in the building. And I saw another one up here. Donovan Zask. Your control is probably terrible, but get in the building. All right. Hitters. Any wacky hitters left unsigned? No one signed Manuel Margot. Buddy? Oh, he doesn't want a minor league deal. I'll give him this. Just in case someone gets injured. No one has signed Andrew McCutchen. Sam Hilliard unsigned. You know what, Sam? If you want to rejoin the Colorado Rockies organization, there's your minor league deal. Richie Palacios would give the AAA coach some defensive flexibility. Kyle Farmer, who did not hit in 2026 and then just didn't retire. I respect that. Manuel Valdez might not be a bad shout. All right. He's really good defensively, so he'll be an okay backup. Oh, a 22-year-old. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's 22. Literally no downside to at least seeing what he can do. Dakota Jordan is 23. Sure one. Now I'm going to look at just at catchers. Because right now, my catchers in AAA are a 23-year-old in Brian Betancourt, who is he's not great defensively. And then Rene Palma, who was pretty good last year 2 years ago for AA, but then AAA seemed to get his number. So I wouldn't hate the idea of like a Riley Adams type, or I saw Jorge Alfaro there. I'll go for Alfaro. Put him in AAA. He also did not play at all in 2026. Carson Kelly, available. I feel like you could get an okay backup catcher out of this list, is all I'm saying. A 20-year-old who's likely terrible. Nah, I'm not going to do that. All right. All that stuff is done. Bobby Miller back in the lineup. Let me save again. All right. So, I think in summation, we came into the offseason where I think the big problem being what is our outfield going to look like? Because outside of Brenton Doyle, no one's spot was guaranteed. We get Stephen Kwan, who is an immediate upgrade in left over the Zach Veen, Alec Thomas, Alex Call platoon of last year. Um, and, he is in the last year of his deal, but the Guardians are already eating 50% of it. So we could extend him for a few years, keep this train going. Right field is going to be our platoon this year. I think Yankiel Fernandez, he's going to get as many at bats as possible. We're going to see what he can do and if he can become, potential outfielder of the future. Alec Burleson, I think, is a pretty good cover option um, for our outfield. He's not great defensively, but he's okay against lefties. He's a little worse in the avoid K department, but I think he can still do the job. He is still arbitration eligible, so that's an easy break off point if we want it. Both Austin Martin and Aaron Schunk are going to get spots. Aaron Schunk is the 26th man on the 26-man roster. If he doesn't hit well against lefties, he's gone. And we're going to bring up Charlie Condon to see what he can do. Because the only reason Aaron Schunk is on this roster is last year, if I pull up his career splits against lefties, he had an OPS of 1100 and a slugging of 685. So we need to find out if that's legit. If it is, sweet. If it's not, he goes back down to AAA and Charlie Condon comes back up. Drew Romo is going to be the backup catcher once again. He'll probably kill me at this point, which is fair. I was half tempted to play him against lefties last season, but I mean, Hunter Goodman was also very good against lefties. 929 OPS, 555 slug. Like, he's doing just fine for me. And then Austin Martin is just here to play any position I need him to be. Second, third, he can play short. I put him in the outfield mainly last year because that's where we needed him. Didn't go great, so I think he is primarily an infield sub. That's our lineup. I think, objectively speaking, an upgrade from last year with Kwan over Zach Veen and Alec Burleson over, say Alex Call or Alec Thomas. We still don't have anyone whose overall is in the 60s, as Bregman's is just chilling at a 55 now, I guess. But that is what it is. In terms of the pitching department, I think if I really want to do, I could have gotten rid of Chris Bubic to bring in another outfielder or something, but I think we're going to roll with him for this year. And if he starts to struggle, we can move off and go from there. Chase Dollander needs to play. I mean, he got shelled in his final outing in AAA, but before that, his ERA was a 0.5. Like, if not now, then when? Very simple. His stamina, though, isn't great. So I think I'm going to run into a similar problem with him as I do with Bubic and Gabriel Hughes. But other than that, really confident in our rotation. We had a good rotation last year. Gabriel Hughes is going to be get the whole opportunity now as opposed to last year where he split time, which is good. Bullpen, they were doing great last year. And then the playoffs, Sean Burke exploded. Victor Vodnik gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and that was that. Chivilli, in an ideal world, Vodnik is healthy and Chivilli starts in AAA. But we're going to try to get, hopefully, some good play out of him. He had a good spring training, but I mean, last year, 5.9 Ks per 9, 4.4 walks per 9. So even though the whip and the BAPIP are fine, that's still less than ideal. But, I mean, he's going to play while Vodnik is on the IL. Keegan Aiken is here essentially on a 1-year deal where, if he's great, I might even trade him. But he's going to be 32 here in a bit. And if he struggles, so be it. I take the team option and he leaves. Simple as that. He is also, I think, going to be my backup closer, where last year that role was Halverson and Zerpa to some extent. I think I want it to be Aiken as the backup closer. And then, Bautista, he is now a free agent after this year. So we have to decide if Bautista is going to be our closer of the future or if he is someone that, we need to move on. And I mean, to be fair, if we were to trade anyone, like if let's say we're at, below 500 at the end of July and it's not looking good, I could get a haul for Bautista. But we'll see how that plays out. I think overall I'm excited. Last year we went 66 and 76, or excuse me, 86 and 76. The best winning percentage since 2018, where obviously the Rockies took the Dodgers to game 163. We made the World Series last year. Like, we have literally set the bar too high. Like, odds are we're not going to make the World Series again. The owner goal is to make the playoff, and he has given me the second lowest budget in the league to do so. So that is what it is. If you look in terms of our meet the team stuff, Hunter Goodman, 23rd ranked catcher. Toglia, 26th first base. Keep in mind, year one, that was like 15, 16. Estrada, 15th second baseman. Bregman, 10th third base. Tovar, 12th at short. Cole Carrig, even though he is on the IL recovering from a ruptured MCL, is still our highest rated left fielder, which is kind of crazy. Brenton Doyle, 14th center fielder. Fernandez, 17th right field. So the game has a lot of faith in Fernandez. And then Keegan Aiken, for whatever reason, is listed as a starter here. I don't know why, which can leave that alone. Vodnik, 15th best reliever, who's also injured, and Bautista, 5th best closer. So I expect to make the playoffs. I think our lineup in the outfield has been upgraded. However, if Toglia doesn't get some of his power back that he lost last season, if Tovar continues to be a wildly inconsistent hitter, we could be in legitimate trouble. In terms of our pitching staff potential problems, I mean, just look at the stamina. Bobby Miller's stamina is 55, but he also just got dead arm and failed his development in the development lab. Michael King's stamina is 50. Cool. Gabriel Hughes, 45, Dollander 40, 35 for Chris Bubich. Like, that's a problem. And that may lead to a very, very taxed bullpen. But that is a problem for future us. As I'm going to stop the video here. Thank you all for watching. I think maybe not the most flashy offseason in terms of free agency, but it's also because this free agent class was terrible. One thing I did want to check before we close, how much did Arozarena sign for? 6 years, $112 million. The Marlins gave him. I don't think we were ever going to get close to that. So best of luck to him with the Marlins. And that is it for me. Next episode will be later this week where we will begin the 2027 season and try to defend our NL pennant. What a wild world to live in where that's said about the Colorado Rockies. But I thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.